Your heart starts beating faster. Your hands feel cold. Everyone is looking at you. And suddenly, you forget the simplest English word you learned yesterday. Not because you're stupid. Not because you didn't study. But because fear is louder than memory. Most people think learning English is about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. But honestly, the hardest part is psychological. It's the fear of sounding wrong, the fear of being judged, the fear of hearing someone laugh after you speak. Maybe you've experienced that moment too. You try to say one sentence, and someone smirks. Maybe they didn't even mean to hurt you, but your brain remembers it forever. So, later, you practice alone, in front of mirrors, inside your room, inside your own safe little world. Because there, nobody can judge you. You type messages carefully, checking every word 3 times, then deleting everything anyway. Not because your English is terrible, but because anxiety whispers, what if they think you sound weird? And the strange thing is, you probably know more English than you think. You understand videos, songs, movies. But the second real people appear, your confidence disappears. That's what social anxiety does. It transforms simple communication into emotional danger. Your brain stops seeing conversation as connection. It starts seeing conversation as survival. Your body reacts before your mind even can. Sweaty hands, tight chest, dry throat. Your nervous system believes you're in danger, even when you're just saying hello. And then comes the silence, the waiting, the pressure. Everyone's staring at you while your thoughts collapse inside your head. So you speak softly, carefully, almost apologizing for existing. And after it's over, you replay every mistake in your mind for hours. But sometimes, one small moment changes everything. One person smiles kindly. One person listens patiently. And suddenly, you realize not everyone is waiting for you to fail. Still, the fear doesn't disappear overnight. Because deep down, this fear was never only about English. It was about acceptance. A lot of people carry invisible memories. Being laughed at in school, feeling ignored, feeling less than others. And when they speak a new language, those old wounds come back. That's why confidence isn't built only through study. It's built through emotional safety. The moment you stop treating mistakes like proof of failure, everything begins changing. So, slowly, you start practicing differently. Not to sound perfect, but to sound real. Not to impress people, but to connect with them. And strangely enough, the moment you stop fearing mistakes, your speaking improves naturally, because anxiety blocks fluency more than bad grammar ever will. You join conversations even while nervous. Your voice shakes a little, but you stay. And that matters more than perfection. Of course, there are still awkward moments. You mispronounce words. You pause too long, and your brain immediately screams. They think you're stupid. But then something unexpected happens. Nobody laughs. Nobody attacks you. Most people simply continue the conversation, because the harshest judge was never them. It was you. That realization changes people deeply, because once fear loses power, communication becomes freedom. You stop performing and start expressing. Eventually, English stops feeling like a test. It starts feeling like a bridge to friendships, experiences, new versions of yourself. And when you look back, you barely recognize the old version of yourself. The person who stayed silent because they feared judgment. Now you understand something important. Confidence never comes first. Action comes first. Every confident speaker you admire was once nervous too. One day, you sit quietly after speaking English for hours, and you realize something strange. You weren't thinking about mistakes anymore. You were simply being yourself. That's the real goal. Not perfect pronunciation. Not flawless grammar. Freedom. Freedom to speak without shame. Freedom to exist without apologizing. Because language was never about sounding perfect. It was always about human connection. And the people who truly matter will never remember your small mistakes, but they will remember how you made them feel.